Yo, what is up, family? Billy back with another Chicago Sports Paradise. I know I've been gone for a couple days. It's been taking a couple days for me to process this loss. Been watching a couple, some videos with end of the season media availability for different players and whatnot. Um, well, on later videos, we can kind of get into that. So, on this video, we're going to talk about the Bulls and the Heat, the last game of the season for us, unfortunately. So, let's start by kind of going through how each player did throughout the game, right? So, here we got DeMar in the last game of the season. DeMar plays 41 minutes, majority of the game. Right, we all know the game's 48 minutes. He played 41 minutes, scored 26 points, right, which is a damn good game. Considering last game, I think he scored 25 points, so that's pretty consistent. You'd like to see, I'd like to see at least 30 coming from DeMar, right? At least a 30-point game coming from DeMar. So 26 points ain't too bad. 4 rebounds. You'd like to see a couple more rebounds from a small forward, right? I think he's a shooting guard, right? But for our squad, we don't have too many big guys. We don't have too many big bodies. So you put DeMar DeRozan at small forward. So he gets 4 rebounds, which I guess is decent, right? You want to save the rebounding for the power forward, which we'll get to that in a bit, and then the center, which is Vooch, right? And then he comes out with 9 assists, which you like to see that anywhere from 5 to 12 assists. You'd like to see from any player on our squad. Given how the NBA plays now, even the center can come out with double-digit assists. So you like to see that 26, 4, and 9. Like I said, you like to see maybe a few more points, a couple more rebounds, but that's a pretty decent stat line, right, for DeMar DeRozan. So now you got Alex Caruso, plays 30 minutes, right, starting power forward. So as I alluded to earlier, you got DeMar DeRozan coming out with 4 rebounds as a small forward. Now you got Alex Caruso playing a power forward, which he might be maybe an inch taller than DeMar DeRozan. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have their height right in front of me, but I can't see him being more than maybe 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" at the most, at the very most. I would say Alex Caruso is put at the 4 by Billy Donovan, maybe because of his defensive prowess over DeMar DeRozan. But he started at the 4, gave us, 16 points, right? So from Alex Caruso, 16 points, that's a good game. That's a really good game from Alex Caruso. He's kind of in there for defensive purposes. I mean, he's obviously a good scorer, right? If you're in the NBA, coming from high school to college, you've probably been the best player around, definitely in high school, unless you had another NBA player going to your high school. You've been the best player in high school. College, you've been one of the best, if not the best players. So obviously they can all score, right? But once you get to the NBA, you got top tier guys that are above, you got top tier NBA players and then all the other guys, And Alex Caruso is kind of on that Patrick Beverley side of NBA players, right? Was the best in high school, the best in college, and once you hit the NBA, you're not quite the best anymore, right? So 16 points from Alex Caruso in an NBA game, that's good. That's real good. And then he comes out with 3 rebounds. Like I said, he's essentially a guard playing forward, so you can't really ask for more than 3 rebounds, right? But obviously, you want more than 3 rebounds from your power forward position. You want more than that. I'd say you want anywhere from 6 to 10 rebounds from your power forward position. And then comes out with 4 assists. Now, from power forward, say if Patrick Williams were to start at 4, I would still like to see him with more than 4 assists, but I would consider that a win, right? If Patrick Williams starts at the 4, gives you 16 points like Alex Caruso, gets you 6 rebounds and 4 assists, I could live with that. But if you got Alex Caruso starting at the 4, you want him to give you more than 4 assists. All right, moving on, you got Vooch, right? Vooch is another starter. Gives you 12 points. Come on, Vooch. Come on, man. This is a closeout game. You want to come out big, especially knowing that Zach LaVine, the day before he went off, right? So you know the Miami Heat's probably going to crowd Zach LaVine. So you got DeMar DeRozan going off for 26. Now you got to have Vooch have a big game because the Heat's going to crowd Zach LaVine. So you want to have DeMar and Vooch having a big game. That's supposed to be our 3. That's supposed to be our big 3, right? So if one guy goes off one game, you want to have the other guys go off the next game because that guy's going to be crowded. Right? So you'd like to see Vooch coming out with more than 12 points. He comes out with 9 rebounds, which is nice. That's good for him. Double digits. He's pretty much a walking double-double. So you like to see him have at least 10 rebounds. But 9 is not too bad, and 1 assist. Come on, man. Gotta have more than 1 assist as an NBA player. Zach LaVine. Now, man, this has kind of been at least my knock and a lot of people's knocks on the Bulls, period, but especially Zach LaVine, his consistency. He had 15 points this game. That's not going to cut it. Last game he had, 39? He went off for 39 and then comes from a 39-point game to a 15-point game. Like I alluded to earlier, man, the team's going to crowd you. The team's going to say, oh, he came out with 39 points. You don't want to have him get right back into it again. So you want to double him. You want to deny the ball. You want to not let him get right back in the gear and hit you with another 40 piece, So I can understand 20, 25, but 15 points, man, that's not going to cut it. 4 rebounds, all right. Shooting guard position, 4 rebounds is not too bad. 2 assists, you got to do better than that. Patrick Beverley, starting point guard, plays 27 minutes, comes out with 0 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. You just got to play better than that. You just got to play way better than that. Kobe White plays 31 minutes, which played more minutes coming off the bench than Patrick Beverley played starting. Now I know they're different roles. They play different roles on the team, right? When Kobe White comes in, you expect him to score more than Patrick Beverley does, right? That's not his role on the team. Right? But I say, not to compare Patrick Beverley to Derrick Rose, but I'm saying as far as roles go, Derrick Rose came to the Bulls and we needed him to be the scorer, right? I didn't watch him too much in Memphis, but I remember watching an interview one time saying in Memphis he played more like he plays now, more like he played in Cleveland, more like he played when he left Chicago, more of a facilitator, more of a, he was less of a downhill, just scoring 30, 35 every night. Where Patrick Beverly, I was watching videos about him last week. He's been a scorer. He was a scorer up until he came into the league. And then he just wasn't as high a volume scorer as other scorers in the league. So he had to switch roles. Right? But my point is he's capable of scoring. Right? So you got to have more than 0 points, man. Kobe White comes in, plays more minutes, comes out with 14 points. Like I said, he's playing a different role on the squad. He's coming in for scoring, right? So for him to get 14 points, that's good. He actually had a decent stat line. Excuse me. He actually had a very decent stat line. Came out with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Now that's good. Now for a guard, I'd like to see more than 4 assists. Right, I like to see more than 4 assists coming off the bench. I mean that's decent. Anywhere from 4 to 6, that's good. Coming off the bench, 4 assists, that's really good. Now 5 rebounds for a guard is also really good. So next you got P. Will. P. Will plays 17 minutes. Now come on, man. This is what I'm saying, dude. This consistency. I don't remember how much he scored last game, but he comes out of here scoring 2 points and getting 2 rebounds and not having any assists. Man, you gotta be better than that, kid. Now Andre Drummond comes off the bench as a big man. He's one of the guys I'd like to see come back for next year. Straight up. He comes off the bench, gives us 6 points and 8 big rebounds. So, I like to see that. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. Ayo, man, Ayo started last season. You know what I mean? Started the first half of this season. You know what I'm saying? And now he played 5 minutes. Played 5 minutes and had nothing. No points, no rebounds, no assists. Now I'm sure he affected the game in some capacity, right? His defense you can't question. I'm sure he had some effect on the game, right? You can't really say, oh, Ayo came in and he didn't do anything. Even though he didn't have any stats, he probably had a steal. Maybe he had a block. He probably denied the ball to somebody that needed the ball. I'm sure he affected the game in some capacity. But as far as points, rebounds, assists, he didn't get anything. And then Derrick Jones Jr. plays 3 minutes, which, maybe that's 3 minutes at the end of a quarter to give a guy a couple minutes extra rest. But he also got no points, no assists, no rebounds. So, and we lose. And I was watching some podcasts after we beat Toronto. And, we won that game, and that was great. That was awesome. That was amazing. It was, it was a high energy game. It was great to see us come back in the second half. It's just horrible to see us. What we've been doing all year is coming out stiff. The whole first half, pretty much. And then we got to come back in the second half. I'm used to seeing that from Dame Lillard's Trailblazers, where they would come out with the win, but they would squeak it out at the very end, where they would come out stagnant and just not scoring any points. And then they got to fight, uphill battle to get the win. And then after you do that, that takes so much out of you emotionally and physically that you don't have it for the next game. And that's what I suspect has happened to us most of the year. So, I mean, man, this game was disappointing, you know? I mean, I was driving and I was busy, so I didn't really get to watch the game. I got to watch highlights. Actually, before I got to watch highlights, I'm subscribed to a couple um, Chicago sports influencers. So before I got to watch highlights, I seen one of the notifications that said Bulls lose. I really wanted to see how the game was gonna go, you know, but man, it was just disappointing. It was disappointing because, like I was saying, the Bulls podcast, they were talking about, you know, everybody was hype. Everybody was super hype after the Bulls win against the Raptors. But then there was also a somber tone because we know that we've been inconsistent all year. So everybody was like, yeah, you know, it was great watching them beat the Raptors. It was great. But, I mean, it's been pretty much all year that we've won games and then lost games, come out with 2 or 3 wins in a row, and then we just stumble, you know. We'll beat a couple good teams and then face a team that we should beat up on, and then we end up losing that game. So, I mean, I don't know. You watch some end of the season media availability, and you know, the players say what the players say, consistency, I gotta get better, I gotta be better, I gotta this and that. I mean, you didn't learn much from that, you know, but this game was disappointing, man. It was disappointing, but then it was also like, you kind of expected it, you know? I mean, you kind of expected it, and then if they would have won this game, we would have been playing the Bucks. You know what I mean? I mean, I think we have the talent to beat anybody. You know what I mean? So I really wasn't even looking to the Bucks like, oh my God, we can't do anything against them. You know, obviously we don't have the size to go against Giannis, but I believe we could have won those games. I believe we could have won that series. You know, I believe we could have squeaked out some wins against them, you know. But when it comes to this game, man, it's just we got issues with consistency that during the off season we need to fix. I would like to see Zach LaVine evolve his game in a way, in like a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson kind of way, in respect to coming off screens, always moving. You giving up the ball, you run around the court 2 or 3 times off 2, 3, 4 screens, and then you either get an open look or get the ball with a mismatch on you. Excuse me, that's what I'd like to see. Obviously, we're gonna lose a couple pieces. We're gonna add a couple pieces, but we can do that in another video. We can talk about that. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this game with y'all real quick. And man, please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I want to see y'all. Give me in a comment some ideas about what you guys would like to see in the future. Obviously, the Bull season has come to an end, so I'm gonna try to keep up on Bulls content. Like I said, I want to hear some of y'all's ideas to see maybe some ideas on future videos, future Bulls videos. Obviously, the draft is coming. The NFL draft is coming up, so there's gonna be more Bears content coming up, but I'm going to try to keep up on the Bulls content also. So you guys leave me some ideas in the comments on what we're going to see. Like I said, some off-seasons Bulls material is coming up, some content. So I'll see y'all later. All right? Go Bulls.